Hi all, Casey Durango here with Go Keto with Casey. Technology is always a question mark for me. There goes the cuckoo. Must be time to start talking. My name is Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey. I talk about the ketogenic diet, how I've lost a little over 97 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet, and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. This is a live broadcast. If you are seeing this outside of the hour or so, 45 minutes, 30 minutes of 11 a.m. to whenever I end Eastern time on Saturday, December 9th, you are not seeing it live. Thanks a lot for joining, and I'm going to do some quick technical stuff here to try to get this shared, and I apologize for needing to do this, but it helps me a great deal if I can, so bear with me. Today's topic is one that maybe not all of us have dealt with yet. And maybe some of us are in the middle of dealing with it, and maybe some of us never intend to deal with it. And that is, what do we do when, as we are feeling better, losing weight, perhaps gaining confidence, and people either react to us differently, say things to us that we did not expect to hear, and maybe they kind of fall away from us actually. Well, how do we handle that? And it is a thing, in my experience. Indeed a thing. Thinking on it, as we've gone through our lives, and maybe as we put on weight and didn't feel as great about ourselves, we might have lost people along the way then. People can kind of peel away from you. Or they treat you differently as you put on weight. They maybe treat you like you're not as smart as you used to be because fat equals stupid, right? Which of course it doesn't. And the same thing can kind of happen on the way down. Probably most of us have just absolutely absorbed the idea that in our younger years, sometimes in our childhood years, we heard things were said to us either that were careless comments or flat out mean comments, sometimes coming from those who were supposed to be protecting us and loving us unconditionally and making sure our feelings weren't hurt. And sometimes people are clumsy and they just say things that live with you for a lifetime. I know that happened in my experience as a pudgy kid. And even when the years when I kind of went through adolescence and wasn't so pudgy, I still had that image in my head of being the pudgiest person around. Because those comments and attitudes lingered. Then, as I got older, I started making the remarks myself, which were not helpful, and we've talked about that before. Stop making self-deprecating remarks. It does not help anybody. And don't talk to yourself worse than you would talk to your best friend or even a casual friend. But say you've gotten to the point that you have turned the corner and you start losing weight and you are appreciably different looking. In my experience and what I've heard from others, sometimes it's a really strange phenomenon. First of all, you lose whatever it might be. And of course, depending on where you're starting, can impact how much you lose before someone notices. Say you've lost 20 pounds and no one's saying a daggone word. Almost all the time, what you'll first hear, people will kind of notice, but they'll say, are you wearing your hair differently? Or are those new glasses? Have you gotten taller? Because sometimes people honestly can't quite put their finger on it. And sometimes they always think it's your hair. I actually had a woman that I had not seen probably in 5 years this past week saw me. I weigh 100 pounds less than the last time she saw me. And she said, Casey, you look wonderful. You've cut your hair. It's so youthful. I said, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anyway, sometimes people don't say anything because talking about someone's weight, even if it's a compliment, is a minefield. Some people will pat you on the back and say, oh, good job, but you kind of get the feeling they're saying, we've seen this before. Casey's lost 20 pounds before. Good job, keep it up. And then sometimes you get to the point where people, it's definitely you've lost weight, and people are complimenting you. And then some people who are giving you the good job, we've seen this before, become mute on your weight loss. Why would people either withhold cheering you on, or sometimes flat out say things that are not nice? And this happens as well. You know, wait a minute, I had to hear all the crummy remarks when I was getting fat and when I was fat, and now that I'm losing weight, I'm still getting the crummy remarks? Why is that a thing? So why would that be a thing? There's no easy answer, in my estimation, any more than there are easy answers for almost anything that has to do with the human condition. Why did our parents allow our siblings to make fun of us being fat? Why did they not put a stop to it? Certainly not out of malice. Maybe thinking, oh, well, if she gets ribbed about it, she'll really get it under control. A 9-year-old doesn't have an ability to get a lot of things under control. So, misguided thinking maybe, but as you're an adult, and we have relationships, various ones, romantic, work, tertiary relationships, deep friendships that we've had for years, intimate relationships that are, between best friends. I mean, sometimes you tell your very best friend things that can be very difficult to tell your mate. So we have all these different relationships. What happens when one really surprises you, or two really surprise you? Or you find out that people you thought would be your biggest cheerleader seem to go into the witness relocation program. You don't hear from them. It's like they lost your number, or like they owe you money. You never see them anymore. Could it be that throughout our lives, we have relationships where we fulfill a role? And actually, I have to give a hat tip to my friend Cindy for bringing this up. We fulfill roles in all of our relationships, whether they are just work relationships and it's, co-worker, boss, whatever. You fulfill a role. You fulfill a role with your siblings, with your close friends, with your not so close friends, with your life partner. What if you stop fulfilling a certain role for people? And sadly, what if that role was that you were the person that made everyone feel better about themselves? And I can see someone, Stacy Johnson, saying jealousy. Could be. But I think a kinder and possibly more accurate thing is that you stop being whatever role you fulfilled for that person or those people. If you were the jolly fat person at all the gatherings, making funny fat jokes about yourself before anyone else could, and now you're not doing that because it doesn't even make sense, It doesn't make sense to make a funny fat joke about yourself if you're not fat. It's unseemly. But what if you really don't fulfill a role for somebody? And so what do you do with that information? Do you put the weight back on? Of course not. You can talk to them about it or ask them a question. It could be something about which they are not even aware. They don't even recognize it. They don't notice it. They don't see it. So let's not be too hard on that. And certainly let's not be hard on ourselves. And I'm speaking as someone who my default position is always, what did I do wrong? How did I mess this up? Did I talk too much? Did I talk too little? Did I say the wrong thing? But on reflection, sometimes we just have to say, sometimes a relationship runs its course. Correct? And that can be every type of relationship. It can be a work relationship, a romantic relationship. Some relationships evolve. You know, your relationship with your child, if you have children, and if you're lucky enough to have a relationship with your children, evolve, hopefully. You know, you stop holding up a tissue to their runny nose. You know, you don't do that when they're 15 anymore. And hopefully they grow older and you start having actual conversations with them that have something to do about, nothing that has to do with about what they're going to major in at college or anything like that. Or did you do your homework? Relationships evolve. And sometimes that evolution means they've gone on this way and you've gone on that way. And neither way is wrong. So if you're finding that people are reacting to you differently, as long as they're not being mean, if they're just mean, they suck. And drop them like a carb-loaded bucket from KFC. Drop them. Because you don't need that. Mean people suck. I know that because I saw it on a bumper sticker. But if your friends simply are having trouble adjusting to your new life, don't forget that it's quite possible that as you are transitioning from someone who became quite heavy, and because of that perhaps you withdrew, you stopped speaking up at meetings or parties, you stopped accepting social invitations because you know the whole litany, I don't have to tell you, you know how the routine goes. And now you're feeling better and you're saying yes to things. You're joining, you're speaking up at meetings. You are, instead of the wallflower at work, you're the one who's saying, well, no, I actually think that we should try this. Instead of being a person who can be counted on to agree with whatever the group says, you might say, you know, that's wrong-headed thinking in my opinion. Let's talk about this. So they might have trouble adjusting to the new you. That's okay. I've had trouble adjusting to the new me. I have. So let's not only be kind to ourselves, which is always good advice, be kind to our friends. If they're not picking up what you're putting down by you being kind, and they really only want you to fulfill a specific role in their life, sometimes it's making them feel better about themselves. You know, sometimes people will look and they'll, you know, they might think to themselves, not consciously, but, well, yeah, I hate my job, or, yeah, I'm kind of in a loveless marriage, or, yeah, I haven't spoken to my kid in 18 months, or whatever. But they on some level they can say, but at least I'm not as fat as Casey, or whoever. I don't think anyone consciously does that. But I think that is a possible thing. So, be kind to your friends. Be kind to yourself. If they're mean, they're not your friend. And be okay with that. Remember, you had to hear all the stuff on the way up, the weight train, the weight hill, the weight mountain. You shouldn't have to listen to it or have your feelings hurt on the way down when you're doing something that's good and right for you. Something that you know will extend your life. That will extend your, as someone said, and I don't know who said it, you know, ideally, not only do you spend your last penny on your last day on earth, that would be great, but that your lifespan and your health span equal each other. You're doing something to make that happen. And you just might lose people along the way and pick up others. I know I have. Okay, so that was my little spiel today. It snowed here today, so I've got my warm hoodie on. Snowed yesterday. It's still snowing, which is fun to have on a weekend in December in our part of the world. I want to do a couple of housekeeping things. If you are in the Greensboro area, Greensboro, North Carolina area, on Wednesday, December 13th, we're having a Go Keto with Casey info and support meeting at the Golden Corral on Lawndale Drive. I did put an event in the Go Keto with Casey Facebook page and the Keto After 40 with Casey Facebook group. Please let me know if you're coming. We do have a room. It should be plenty of room, but I do want to let you know. And they have agreed to give us a reduced price for the buffet meal. So it's going to be like $6 or something. And there's no cost to come to the meeting, but they do require that you purchase a meal. Save the date. This is pretty exciting to me. The weekend of March 16th, 17th, 18th. Again in Greensboro, the first ever Go Keto with Casey Roadshow. We're going to have a little reunion, a little get-together. I don't know what to call it. It's not a conference. It's us getting together. It's going to be, there'll be a couple of speakers you will want to hear. You definitely will want to hear them. And the plans are in flux at this time. It's going to be casual. It's going to be hopefully affordable. And I will get you more information. I'm really excited about it. So save the date, March 16th, 17th, 18th, probably Friday afternoon through brunch on Sunday. The meat of the time will be Saturday, the 17th, St. Patty's Day. Maybe we have some green pork rinds. Okay, some more housekeeping. I don't know if you can see this or not, because I can't see the screen properly. This is an insulated grocery bag. I just love them. Lots of them are sold. It's pretty big, zipper top, insulated, and it says, "This bag is a carb-free zone. Go get it with Casey." So there are some left. I think you can buy them from the Facebook page, but I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how that works. So if you can't do it there, go to my blog and go to Go Keto with Casey swag, and it's there. And it's a lot of fun, so thank you. And calendars are coming. I don't have them yet, but it'll be a really short run of calendars. 2018 calendars with keto stuff and some sayings that I've said and other people have said, and I quote, and little photos of things that around my house that people seem interested in. So anyways, just a fun thing, a wall calendar. That's about it. I do want to thank my patrons. Patrons help make it easy to keep going. If you are interested in becoming a patron, you go to patreon.com/GoKetoWithCasey. The patrons make it easy. There is a lot of patron-only content. I do daily videos open to patrons. I try to post everything that I do anywhere there, but most importantly, there's a forum for patrons only. And as I've said many times, many of the patrons, I think, they don't pay to get access to me, but to get access to each other. And it's a great group, very supportive. There are live streams and there are video group chats, depending on your level of pledge. And I do try to post segments from support group meetings depending on your pledge there as well. So there's that. I would like to turn, if it is okay, to people's comments and see what folks are saying. I love that you guys talk to each other. Hey, Monica. She writes, "It's not surprising that some friends will change because I've changed in my personality since losing 70 pounds. I think there is a constant change in dynamics of every group you belong to. I have read in books related to work that it takes 1 year for the dynamic to settle down when there is a huge change." That makes a really good sense. I can see that for sure. Yeah, it's not. Our changes don't happen overnight. When we got heavy, it didn't happen overnight for most of us, although it felt like it. Losing weight doesn't happen overnight. Don't we know it? By the way, I'm going to continue to encourage, when you refer to your weight loss, to remove the word only. Do not describe your weight loss. I just dropped myself into the drink here. Do not describe your weight loss as only. It's weight loss. And then try this. This is a hard one. When someone says, taking a compliment can be challenging, particularly if you're not used to it. If someone says, wow, you look great, you've lost weight, the impulse says, oh, no, not really, and I've got so much further to go. Here's my recommendation. I just had to teach myself to do this. Someone says, wow, you lost weight, you look great. I say, thank you, I feel great. And then stop talking. I would never say, but I've got so much further to go, even when I did. Frankly, I was so happy to have lost anything. I didn't know how much further I had to go. I never expected to lose this much weight, honest and true. I weigh less now than I ever thought I could make as a goal. So I never thought I'd lose this much weight. But don't say, I've only lost whatever it is. The first year, I lost 47 pounds. That was great. Compared to many other people, they would find that a disappointment. I was thrilled. So that's less than a pound a week. And it was never in a straight line. Because I weigh every day and I log it every day. It was very, other than the first week, there was not a time that every day I lost compared to the day before. Nor every week, nor every month. So give yourself a break on that. But yes, it takes time to lose the weight. Hi, Maitri. Give yourself a break. Some of us have to heal from the inside more. Some of us have issues, a lot of inflammation, a lot of pain. Just I swear, and you pick up carbs from the atmosphere, just breathing in, it feels like sometimes. Give yourself a break. Stick with it. And stop focusing on the weight if it's driving you crazy. Start focusing on, do I weigh less today than I did this day last year? I love that. To this day, I still weigh less every day than I did this day last year. This morning it was 2.8 pounds less. So there you go. I've lost 2.8 pounds in a year. Do I care? If I projected another year and said, well, it'll take me another year to lose 2.8 pounds, what am I going to do? Stop trying? No. I'm going to keep eating the way I eat. This is the way I eat. So if you're frustrated with the scale, don't worry about it. Pay attention to your clothes. If you're frustrated with them, see if you can wiggle your fingers without it hurting. See if you can get out of bed without groaning. See if you can finally sleep on your back without acid reflux. See if your rings become looser, which is an interesting thing to have happen. So focus on you can always find a win. I swear you can always find a win. I don't know whether anybody uses wall calendars anymore. I don't. But these wall calendars, I'm hopeful that people will find something every day to write as a win. Whether it's, I resisted the gift basket at work. That's a win. I hit a new low today. I weigh less today than I did last year. I got all my steps in. I took a compliment well. Somebody noticed. Put that on your calendar. Make it an ego board. Put only things that when you look at it make you feel better about yourself. We all need that. I've got an ego board right over there. It's not a calendar. It's note cards that I've received from nice people who take the time to handwrite a note and send it. And they share their stories. And every time I look there, it makes me feel good. Find something that makes you feel better about yourself. Even if you have to tuck it away in a closet that no one else sees. But you should be proud of it. Okay? So, to wrap up, hey, I want to say hey to Jean O'Connor. Love her. I'm losing about a pound a month now, but then I only need another 20 pounds. That's stunning, Jean. For those of you who don't know Jean's story, check her out. Jean, do you want to share again the name of your Facebook group if you're still running it? And Jean, I hope you will come to a Greensboro meeting. Wednesday, December 13th. I know it's a little bit of a haul, but I hope you'll make it. Okay, so reminder, if people are struggling to understand or recognize or accept the new you, give them time. It's kind of on them to do it. It's not on you to make it easier for them. I mean, that sounds harsh, but you have to take care of you first. And realize that, Lennon and McCartney were right, There are people in our lives, and some are here and some go. That's the way it is. Embrace the ones that you have now. Nurture them. They'll nurture you back. Let the other ones fall away. It's okay. And who knows? Maybe those people that maybe feel a little bit snarky about you will tap you on the shoulder one day and say, I've got to do something about myself. Can you help me? And of course you will. Because that's how you are. All right. I'm going to sign off now. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Love to see you here. I hope it's lovely where you are. It seems like every time I talk, I have to say good luck to our friends in Southern California. It was Northern California before. It was Houston. It was Florida. Y'all take care of yourselves. I hope you're taking care. And let's hope that the next natural disaster is not toads falling from the sky, because sometimes this begins to feel a little bit biblical. All right. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Thanks for allowing me into your Saturday morning. Do svidania. Auf Wiedersehen.